All right, so today we're jumping into a really powerful moment from Jili Zheng's memoir, Red Scarf Girl. It's a story all about a single, absolutely terrifying choice a young girl had to make during China's Cultural Revolution. And this choice, well, it would end up defining who she was and who she was allowed to become. So let's just start with a question that really gets to the core of this whole thing. What do you do when your identity, your family, your history, is the complete opposite of what society is telling you that you have to be? Because this is the exact spot our main character, Ji Li, finds herself in. And that right there, that's her immediate gut punch reaction. See, the term black whelp was a horrible insult for kids from black families, families considered enemies of the state. In her case, it's because her grandfather was a landlord. So when she gets picked for this huge honor, her first thought isn't excitement, it's pure terror. She's thinking, no way, this has to be a mistake. So what is this big honor? Well, Ji Li gets called into a special meeting for something called a class education exhibition. The students who were chosen were told it's because they have both academic and political excellence. I mean, this is supposed to be a huge deal, a chance to represent your whole school. But for Ji Li, this invitation feels a lot more like a trap. You've got to understand, during the super intense political climate of the Cultural Revolution, political excellence wasn't just about, getting good grades or being a good student. Oh no, it meant something way more specific and honestly, way more demanding. What it really meant was absolute 100% unwavering loyalty to Chairman Mao and the Communist Party. It meant you were all in on the revolutionary cause. And this is exactly why Ji Li's secret makes his so-called honor feel like a dangerous, impossible lie. So the whole point of this exhibition, it was basically propaganda. It was designed to expose the so-called evil of class enemies, people like landlords. This means Ji Li's being asked to literally get up in front of everyone and condemn the very group of people her own family belongs to. This is way more than a school project. It's a test of loyalty, and the stakes couldn't be more personal. And, this really gets us to the heart of her problem. You've got the person the school thinks she is, and then you've got the person she knows she is, carrying the secret about a family history that she just can't change. This chart really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have what the party sees, this perfect student, a model representative. But then, on the other side, that's how Ji Li sees herself, through the only lens that matters to her right now. A black whelp, the granddaughter of a landlord, with a father who's been detained. I mean, how on earth is she supposed to make those two realities fit together? She's totally overwhelmed. She slips out of the meeting. She can't do it. She knows she has to find her teacher, Teacher Zhang, and tell him no. This leads her to this really pivotal conversation on a dark, narrow stairway, which is kind of the perfect setting for the isolated, difficult moment she's trapped in.
And you'd think he'd get it, right? But no. Teacher Zhang actually doubles down. He tells her he was the one who nominated her. He praises her public speaking skills and says she's the perfect one for the job. His belief in her just cranks up the pressure she's feeling to an unbearable level.
Inside, she's just panicking. Her fear is so clear. How can I stand up and condemn the very thing that I come from? She's imagining all her classmates finding out her secret and laughing at her for being a hypocrite. The conflict is just tearing her apart. So she does something incredibly brave. She takes a huge risk. She asks the one question that drags her secret out of the shadows and into the open. By asking about her file, she's basically forcing him to acknowledge her family's political status, the very thing she's been terrified of. What a moment. And what Teacher Zhang says next, well, it changes everything. He doesn't act shocked. He doesn't dismiss her past. Instead, he gives her a completely new way to see herself, a new identity that actually offers a way forward. He calls her an educable child. Now, what does that even mean? Well, it was this idea that you weren't automatically doomed by your family's political background. It meant that you, through your own actions and your own loyalty, could build a new, acceptable identity for yourself. For Ji Li, hearing this must have felt like someone throwing her a lifeline. And this right here, this is the absolute core of what he's telling her. It is such a powerful idea, especially in that context. He's telling her that her background doesn't have to be her destiny. He's giving her permission to choose a different path for herself. And look, this isn't just some empty compliment. He's not just saying this to make her feel better. His belief in her is based on what he's actually seen in her character, her self-respect, her ambition, her inner strength.
He genuinely believes she's brave enough to handle this, and his trust gives her something to believe in too.
So there she is on that dark staircase with this totally new way of looking at things, and she has to make a choice right then and there.
The emotional pressure in this moment is just huge. She doesn't argue, she doesn't try to explain anymore, she just quietly says, "I'll do it," and walks away, trying with everything she has not to cry. Her decision isn't some big, loud declaration. It's made in this moment of quiet, trembling resolve.
So, by saying yes, she's not just agreeing to a school project. She's accepting Teacher Zhang's challenge. She is choosing to be that educable child, the one who is brave enough to face her circumstances. She's choosing her own future instead of letting her family's past choose it for her.
And you can see how much she's changed in her own thoughts right after. She recognizes her fear, but now she sees it as an obstacle to fight against, not something to give into. She's found a new kind of strength inside herself. Which brings us right back to where we started, but maybe with a new perspective. Jili's story really forces you to think about that line between the identities we inherit and the ones we build for ourselves. In a world that is always trying to put us in a box, her choice is just a powerful reminder of the struggle and the real courage it takes to define who you are.